Good evening, guys. Am I audible? Can anybody chat in the comment section and tell that am I audible or not? Okay, thank you so much. So we will be starting this session. We'll wait for like 1 or 2 minutes. Let's see if our guest has arrived or not. Okay, yes, our guest has arrived. So I think we should start this session, right, guys? So yeah. Okay, she was here, but I think she left. No issues. We will wait for her to come back again. Yeah, she's here.
First of all, Namaste, Cynthia.
Namaste. Hi.
Uh, Hi. So basically, this is a gesture, this is a gesture how we greet people from like in India.
Okay.
So
Namaste.
it's a very powerful namaste. It's a very powerful gesture. It is used in many kind of ways. Like we not only greet people with this, like hello, welcome. We even like I said, we welcome people with this gesture. We even thank people with this gesture. Like thank you so much for doing this. And
Okay.
yes, we can also request people to use by this gesture. Like please do this for me. Please do that. So it is a very powerful
Namaste.
gesture. Namaste. Do try it with your friends and your family and colleagues. That it's a very powerful gesture. So yes,
Okay.
guys. So how are you, Cynthia? First of all, let's talk like how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you too?
I'm great. I'm great. So I think we should start the session, right?
Okay.
So good evening, everyone. Good evening. And my name is Akansha Sharma, and I'm a very Chotu Sa volunteer of the Soul Foundation. So, as we all know, this today is World Population Day, and this day is observed every year on 11th July. The main purpose of this day is to draw attention towards the issues arising out of rising population across the globe, and it is observed with the goal of highlights that the difficulties created by overpopulation and how it harms the ecosystems and the like what can we tell the progress of humanity, right? So now I would like to everyone to introduce our honorable guest. Her name is Cynthia Okeke. She is a youthful Nigerian. She is a humanitarian as well as a social activist, and apart from that, she's a gender equality activist, and she's an advocate for women and girl child rights. So she mentions even that she wears many caps in the non-profit industry, and she's even a volunteer with many other organizations. But if we start to make a list of all of her achievements in this field of social work, I believe that it would take a whole day for me to introduce her. So, uh, like with this, I would like, I feel that Cynthia should only introduce herself. So, Cynthia, you can go with it.
Okay. Greetings from Nigeria. Good afternoon. It's actually afternoon here in Nigeria. So, basically, it's still daytime. So, I'm very glad to be among this live section. I'm super grateful to Soul Foundation for finding me worthy to be here. So, I am the founder of Cynthia Okeke Charity Foundation. I'm a youth in Nigeria, and it's been a great one working as a foundation in Nigeria because there's a lot to tackle in my country. So I'm very privileged to have people work with me to solve a problem in Nigeria, and by the grace of God, we'll take it far to different countries in the world.
That's really nice. Yeah, that's really nice. So, Cynthia, first we would like to ask, like, why is your foundation known as co-foundation? Like, why is
Okay,
that
cool.
name given? What is the reason? Yeah.
Okay, co-foundation is from my name, Cynthia Okeke Foundation. And it's coming from, I feel it's like my rock because it's a rock in which I want to make an impact in the world. And I feel like it's my purpose in life. So that's why I place it on my name to like create a legacy when I leave the world. People who have been impacted through this foundation will still uphold the name. And I feel like I want to make the world a better place. So to actually leave it better than I met it, because I didn't meet it so good. It's been hard. It's the country, my country has been hard. Growing up has been something, it's been hard for a normal and an average Nigerian like me. So I feel like I want to make an impact in the world, to leave it better than I met it. So it's basically from my name, Cynthia Okeke Foundation. Yeah.
So, what incident was that then you wanted to do this? You wanted to start this noble work or this social work. What was that incident?
Okay, basically it's, I have passion for humanity. Like it started because after my graduation from school, I finished my university, and I there was no job at the time. I wanted to impact, so I started volunteering with foundations, with orphanages. At first, I found out that there are children that didn't have parents, the less privileged mother and father, and because of that, they didn't go to school, or they are not going to school because they didn't have any means. So the community or government take them to these orphanages or orphanage home for them to be there. And while they are there, they have access to food, but they don't have access to education. Some of them stay there while they wait their time, they play, they sleep, and they can't speak English because they don't go to school. So I found this, I started going to orphanages to volunteer with them. When I got there, I teach the kids how to read and write, help them with their assignments and all that. So from there, I started. I gathered my friends, started going out, having outreaches, helping the community, going to different places to just impact in their life, give them things, basically what they need. One of the problem in Nigeria is poverty. A lot of people don't have enough food to eat. So I try as much as possible to extend where my own hand or where my own strength can. I give them food. Yeah, that's it.
That's really great. That one was really nice. I loved it. I loved it for myself. Even I'm doing a lot of social work with Soul Foundation, and I love it. I feel proud. Like, wow, what I'm doing with the people who need help, and I'm helping them. So that makes me proud a lot. So yes, next question would be, what are your goals regarding this? Like, what is Co Foundation's goal?
Okay, our goal is to help those that are really poor, those that are facing abject poverty, to fulfill their basic human potential. Every human being has the right to go to school, they have the right to live right, they have the right to do a lot of things. So this is helping the less privileged to fulfill their basic human potential. They have the right to eat and learn, gain knowledge. This is the basic thing a human being should do. So this is what Cynthia Okeke Foundation is going to do. Take them out from the streets, help them, give them food, help them with their health issues, take them to the hospital, and also just extend our love to the world.
That's nice. A lot of goals, and I hope you get all those goals and you get success. So, my next question would be like, what were the things that you did in these 2 years, like one last year or like 2 years in this pandemic, and how did you come up with co-foundation? Like, what were the things that you did?
Oh, okay. So last year, the whole world we faced a pandemic, COVID-19, And at a point, we weren't able to do much because Nigeria was placed on lockdown. So we're basically in our houses. Um, we did what we can do from the comfort of our homes. We reached out to some foundations, some orphanages, because people weren't allowed to leave their house. So we maybe send them money through their banks to get whatever they want to do. And when the lockdown in Nigeria was released in May last year, so first of all, we first had to do with we went to communities where their children didn't go to school. We gave them books to read. We gave them textbooks. We gave them notebooks. We educated their parents and their community leaders. Gave them, first of all, taught them how to read and write. Then we found out that a lot of people were battling with food, not eating their 3 square meals. We gave them food. There are communities that were really, because of the outbreak, they didn't know about COVID-19. We had to go there to educate them. We provided face masks, hand sanitizers, educated them basically on COVID-19. So that's it. And afterwards, we extended to individuals. We found out that there were individuals who didn't have enough to eat. So we extended our best to them. We give them what we can,
Yeah,
basically.
that's great. Soul Foundation is doing the same, and it's trying to go to that and help all the people which are facing a lot of problems in this pandemic. So they are providing food and sanitizers, masks, like basically a whole kit and a whole like what? Yeah, like a kit only to all the people who are like basically they are in need. So that's I feel that whatever your co-foundation is doing, we are doing the same, and I feel that yeah, we have that connectivity. So
Yeah,
that's really great.
yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. So someone is like commenting that he likes your hair. That he likes
Oh,
your hairstyle.
Mr. Arholic, thank you so much. Thank you.
Like I was like as you mentioned that poverty is a major challenge in Nigeria. So I would like to ask like what are the like what are the causes of that poverty?
Our government, causes of poverty, is overpopulation. We have a lot of people, and we have a lot of people in Nigeria, and less structures. We are crowded. I think before modernization or civilization came in place, or before, like in the last 5 years, we've had organizations come up to speak up on how to curb overpopulation. Basically, people give birth because of they didn't have good knowledge about um, family planning or stuff. So they give birth anyhow. They don't know how to control the way they give birth, because most people still believe that having a lot of children is an asset or gives status in my country. So overpopulation is one cause of poverty in my country.
So like oh, isn't the government doing anything? Isn't there any kind of policy that the government is applying on the people?
It's just recently that the government they start advocating for family planning. They start educating women, empowering women. Also, there are organizations in Nigeria that have find it as a point of duty to pin out the problems in Nigeria, which has to do with overpopulation. They go to the roots of it, which is poverty, and they teach women how to do family planning. Also, they make them to the importance of their health status, the empowerment programs. They send them to school because I think one of the basic problems is literacy. Like people don't know, they don't have the knowledge to do it, so they just do whatever they like. But now people have started having the knowledge, and they start working with what they have and what they've learned from organizations. So basically, that is it. I feel like the government have a lot. They still have a lot more to do in curbing overpopulation in my country.
Yeah,
So
that was nice. Yeah, I get that. Acha, before continuing with the session, I would like if there are any questions from the audience side, like from the
okay,
participants, they can also even ask that, and they can even write it that in the comment box. We are here to answer your questions.
okay.
Okay, so moving forward, as you said that there is a policy recently they have been established. What do you think, like what are co-foundation thoughts, and like how you people are thinking to like reduce the problem of this poverty?
Okay, we have actually our goals in Full Foundation is advocacy, like child health promotion, child rights, and support, child care. So basically, we go to communities and the women. We educate the women there on the importance of family planning, because I feel family planning is the basic thing to curb, and how to use contraceptives. Obviously, we will not say, "Oh, don't sleep with your partner, or don't have anything to do with your partner." But when you have family planning, when you do family planning, when you have know how to use contraceptives to control birth rate, um, we teach people how to do that, and sometimes we provide structures like health talk, medical outreaches, where we tell people and we educate them how to do it.
Okay, that's a very great thought. So like I would like to ask you, like what is your comment on the poverty scorecard, in that simple poverty scorecard of Nigeria basically?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Uh,
Can you
I
repeat
I
yourself?
said, yeah, I said that what is your, like how would you comment on the simple poverty card in Nigeria? Like
What
what would
is
you give that scorecard?
what would I? Sorry,
I'm
it's breaking. I
there's a
can hear you.
poverty am I audible right now?
Yeah, you are. Yes, I can hear you now.
So I am asking, like there's a scorecard for the poverty, right, in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So how would you like to comment on that?
Poverty in Nigeria is I would say it's 8/10 for the
Okay.
average. Okay, not for the average, for the less privileged in Nigeria, because um in my country, we have the rich ones. The rich are getting richer, and the poor are there, where they're just there. So it's 8/10. Poverty rate is like 8/10, because a lot of people don't have anything to do. They don't have employment. They don't have jobs. They don't have things that make them get money or do things. So it's a problem. It's 8/10 for us, and that's why we are always here to do. I mean, we will not have. We can't get through the whole country. We can't reach out to everybody in Nigeria, but I'm glad that there are organizations. There are a lot of organizations in Nigeria that are doing great work. They are doing what they can to alleviate poverty in their states. We have at this international level, we have at the national level, and we have at the state level, and also community level. So people are doing what they can to help others, especially those that cannot afford it.
Okay. So what about the tribal area people, like the people saying that they getting the basic needs, or are they facing any kind of issues? Like what is the status of those people?
Okay. The tribal people, I will first of all say that most tribal people are very hardworking, because most of them let the plant, they grow things in their area. So some people are hardworking. They those people that are hardworking have access to basic amenities. They have access to food, they have access to water and light, they have access to everything they need. But there are some people that are dependent. For example, the old people and the children. They are dependent on those that are working. So they basically live on what they are given, not if they are giving 50% of what the dependents get, they take it like that. I would not say they have access 100%, but they have access to it to an extent.
Okay, okay. And what about the status of education in your country? Like,
Okay,
you think that you people can improve that condition or not? Like, how?
yeah. Okay, so education in Nigeria is both ways. The rich people can afford education, while the less privileged people, some people cannot. There are people that are less privileged, but to an extent, they can afford it. There are some people that are less privileged, and to an extent, they cannot afford it at all. So those people in the rich ones afford it very well, while the less privileged to an extent cannot afford it. So now I feel like there are three structures that can. The government has a place in this, organizations has a place in helping improving education, and individuals have a place in improving education in Nigeria. For instance, the individual, you can actually be a useful youth in your country. You can actually volunteer to go into these communities where they don't have schools, they don't have teachers, and volunteer to teach their kids or teach them. And without pay or something, you can provide things, you can provide books, you can provide. The rich ones use textbooks, and most times they don't pay, they throw it away. You can go around and collect these textbooks and send it to schools for them to help their children, or send it to low income families. Then on the organization level, we have organizations that can provide structures for these communities or for these individuals. They provide funding. They provide fundings. They place individuals on scholarships to go to school. Do you understand? So for government in Nigeria, we have the government schools are quite cheaper than the private schools. Private schools are really, really expensive. So most people cannot afford to take their children to private schools. So I feel like the government should put in place to make situations or make laws where these school fees are really low for those families that are less privileged, so that their parents can be able to afford to send their children to school.
Okay, so there's a law in India in which every student, like every child, has a right to go to school and learn till the age of 14. So, is there
Yeah.
any kind of right in Nigeria as well?
And then, no. We don't have any. We don't have any law like that in Nigeria. You like every right. Yes, like normal rights. Every child is supposed to go to school, but it's not a must. Like we've not gotten to that extent in Nigeria whereby they've placed laws for people. Is a must for children from 0 to 14 years to go to school. Now you have to pay. You have to pay for your. I mean, my
Okay,
country is still underdeveloped, so we're still here. We still have a very long way to go.
okay. So there's a question from the audience that
Okay.
who is your idol?
Oh, I have this idol. He's he's a founder of a foundation, Cocoon Foundation. He's a Yoruba Nigerian, a youthful Nigerian, but to an extent, he's a good guy. Like he helps humanity a lot. He goes extra miles to do a lot. So I learn from him. He's my idol. I really want to be like him, based on humanitarian wise, because he has touched a lot of lives in Nigeria. He has done a lot. I think he has reached out to like 30 states in Nigeria. We have 30 states in Nigeria, and he has gone to 30 states to touch lives in Nigeria. So I really want to be like him. I really want to learn I want to do most of the things he has done in Nigeria. So he's my idol, yeah.
My ideal is Satya, you know. He is really hardworking person, and the personality of that person is really nice. So my ideal is Satya.
Yes.
Okay. So one more question from the audience. How old is Co-Foundation?
Co-foundation is 4 years. It will be 4 years this year. It's actually started. I started running co-foundation in 2017, but I registered it this year. I registered it April this year. So in Nigeria is when your foundation started, that you when your foundation began, that you start counting from. So my foundation was registered April this year, but I started running it from 2017. So it's probably more like 4 years, 1 year, thereabout.
That's really great. Okay. Since a lot of infectious disease outbreak like COVID and SRS,
Okay.
so etc. and all that, they are even still prevailing. So how is your government tackling with it? Like how is Nigeria
Oh,
doing?
okay. To an extent, the Nigerian governments have actually tried their best to curb this disease. I can say that they're trying. They're trying because they've placed laws, they've placed guidelines for us to follow to curb this COVID-19. You know, COVID-19, they said social distancing, you have to stay 2 kilometers, you must always wash your hands, you must always wear your face mask and all that. Yeah, they've done that. And also when the vaccine came out, they've been giving vaccine free. So I think
Mm.
they are doing their best, the best they can to cover it. However, Nigerians, individuals, have a very important role to play in covering this COVID-19 because the government have done their part in placing these laws. So it's the duty of the individuals to obey and follow these instructions for us to avoid getting the disease. So individuals should wear their face masks when going out or doing stuff. They should actually obey these instructions. I think by the time they obey it and do the necessary things that they need to do, yeah, and then I think the chances of the breakouts will be low.
Yeah, that's what our country is even doing, you know. Keep like safe distance, keep distance, and that stuff. So, Acha, how is your foundation dealing with it,
Okay,
this
my
COVID situation?
foundation. Okay, we actually sensitize people. We sensitize people to use their face masks. I think the beginning of the COVID-19 season, went out. We bought face masks and sanitizers and give out to people, give out to communities, give out to individuals, so that they won't have an excuse to say, okay, we don't have money to provide. So we sensitize people. When you go out, don't stay close to a fellow human being, a fellow person, or go out. Always go out with your face mask. I do tell my team members, change begins with me. You should always go out with your team members. I had an outreach with my friend wearing a foundation, and after the outreach, she got COVID-19. Like she was sick, she got the COVID. And I was like, this is it. You should always follow the preventive measures. Always wash your hands. If you're out, go to the market. When you get back home, always wash your hands. Try and air dry your houses. Open up the curtains, the doors for air to come in. And also, when you go out, like remove your slippers outside. Don't take your stuffs inside to prevent touching the surfaces with your hands, dirty hands, and all that. So we tell people to wear their face masks, use sanitizer, always wash their hands. And we also made provisions to some communities to help them.
We are doing the same thing, you know. We are just like spreading the awareness, like wash your hands, keep sanitizer home, and everything, you know. And there are
Yeah.
many people, so you cannot do anything. Like there are many people who will not be listening, but we cannot do. We just can spread awareness, and we can hope that everything is fine at this end of the year.
Okay.
let's let's see what happens next.
Yeah.
So yeah. So my next question is that over 70% of the Nigerian population lives below $2 daily, and this portrays the high level of poverty. Many people are practically living from hand to mouth. So what is your plan? What is to resolve this issue?
Okay. As a foundation and as an individual, we'll try our best to reach out to a lot of people. I mean, we can't reach out to everybody in the country, but to an extent, we reach out to those that we can actually reach out to, provide whatever they need to them. And also there are organizations in Nigeria who are also trying. We have good organizations in Nigeria who are trying, and they are doing really well. So we'll join forces with those organizations. Sometimes we partner with them. Sometimes we just go with them to like fight, to like give out foodstuffs, give out money, anything we can to help this foundation, to help the less privileged. So we do that. Yes, we help them. Sometimes we provide them, we teach them empowerment program whereby they can do stuff, they can learn how to be creative, like sewing, making hair, doing stuff. They can learn, then use what they've learned to make incomes or make ends meet.
Yeah, that's really nice. Okay. On the eve of World Population Day, we want to know that what are the population problems you're facing in Nigeria?
Okay, population problems are poverty, unemployment, drug dealing, and because of this, because of poverty and unemployment, it has led to crimes, to a lot of crimes. There's high crime rate, like drug dealing, kidnapping, assassination, um, illegal ways of getting money because of they're not good structures for an average Nigerian youth. So some people want to make it real quick. They want to get money. Some youths are the breadwinners of their family. So because of poverty and unemployment and different things, they do illegal things in Nigeria. They sell drugs, they kidnap people to get money, they blackmail people to get money. So I feel poverty has these are the crimes that are really rampant in Nigeria, especially among the youths.
Okay, so this year the theme of World Population Day 2021 is that the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on fertility. And it is basically, it will be observed that to shed more light on the impact of that COVID-19 pandemic on sexual and reproductive health and reproductive behavior globally. So, what are your views on that?
Um, yeah, I think COVID-19 has really affected people, a lot of people. Um, People are really scared and all that. So I feel um productive health, women should still be educated. The people should still have their sensitization going on. They should still follow the guidelines. They should still have their empowerment going on. I feel people should go out of their ways to tell people or to educate people on the basic things, on things that they should do. So COVID-19 shouldn't be an excuse. Yeah, it's there. It's something we cannot change it. It's already here. So it's better for us to deal with it in any possible way. It's a situation that we have faced. So we should deal with it in every positive way that we can. So yeah, basically that's it.
Okay. So, apart from this, what is the health condition of the women and children in Nigeria?
Okay, for women, I think their maternal mortality, they have in Nigeria we have a lot of breast and cervical cancer, while for children we have malaria, we have typhoid, we have tetanus, we have measles, we have all these diseases. And I feel like these diseases are actually vaccine preventable diseases. So it's just that women, a lot of people are not educated to know about diseases. So but recently organizations have joined forces with governments and individuals and hospitals to educate these women on the importance of immunizations and vaccination to their children. And every woman in Nigeria is advised to go for checkup at least once in 3 months to check themselves, because most times people don't know, and when they go to the hospital when they start feeling sick and they go to the hospital, it's already too late. So people now, hospitals and individuals, there's some organizations that are solely for productive health. So they actually educate these women to do their best, to they give them knowledge on how to prevent these diseases, because of course breast cancer and cervical cancer are diseases that can be prevented if they follow the due process, if they actually check, go for their smear, go for their checkup, go for their to check of all this. Also, they should do exercises. There are exercises that also helps people to prevent all these diseases. So I feel like education and empowerment is what is going to help to curb all these diseases or sicknesses in children and women.
Is there any kind of awareness related to the menstrual hygienes and the antepartum and the postpartum diseases and all that? Is there any awareness going on, or the
Uh,
basically, yeah.
okay, we have the menstrual hygiene, the normal word everybody celebrates and all that. So they're in their organizations at their own level create events. They go to communities, they go to churches, they go to foundation, they go to schools, they educate the young girls about menstrual hygiene, how to use their sanitary pad, how to dispose them, how not to use it twice and all that. So I feel like yes, the events, a lot of events. People try as much as possible to educate others on this menstrual hygiene. Yeah.
Okay, there's one more question from the audience.
Okay.
It's that, ma'am, can you tell us about how you all manage education of rural kid during the COVID period?
Okay. Basically, like last year on the 25th of July last year, we went to a community in Abuja. Um, Most of them didn't go to school, they didn't have access to basic education, and most of them were out of school children. So basically, what we did was we paid for most of their school fees, we gave their parents money to fund their school fees. Also, we provided textbooks and exercise books for them to have access to education. So basically, we go to schools, we ask their teachers and their headmistress, headmasters to give us the list of those who cannot afford their school fees. So we pay for their school fees and we send them to school. Those that are hawking, there are some people that are selling things to help their family. We take them off the street. We send them to school. So basically, that's it.
That's really great. Yeah, that's a very nice thing to do. Okay, as we know that hunger, as you only said that hunger is a issue in Nigeria. So, like, why is this a problem in your country?
Sorry, can you repeat it? Can you repeat yourself?
I asked that why is hunger a problem in your country?
It has to do with overpopulation. People
Okay,
having people having more they can afford. They're having more family members, more children to take care of than what they can afford. And number two, there are no employment in Nigeria. They don't there We have lesser jobs and higher population. So people are hungry. People are they they they, they don't have the normal thing to make an ends meet for themselves. So That's why we have hunger in our country.
And what are the statistics that the government is doing to, reduce this hunger issue?
Sorry?
What are the statistics that your government is doing to, reduce this hunger issue?
My government. I don't even know how to say. I don't even know what to say about my government. But they have things are really hard in Nigeria. The country is really hard. They are what I will not say they're not doing so much. Things are increasing. Things are overbearing in Nigeria because um an average Nigerian family cannot afford the three basic meals. Things are really expensive in Nigeria and is overbearing. And I don't know, the government are not doing so well. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know how to say recommend or rate my government, but all I can say is that they're not doing so well.
Okay. So do you believe that we can solve the hunger issues like, you can solve the hunger issues in Nigeria? Do you believe
Yeah,
that?
we can. Yes, I believe in positivity. I believe in a better country. I'm so happy because there are organizations that are coming up, new organization. I'm happy because there are international NGOs that bring out funds to help alleviate poverty in Nigeria. I'm really happy because there are some international NGOs have provided structures to alleviate. And yes, like I said, we will join organizations, we will join um, NGOs to do what we can in our possible best to do what we can. Yes.
Okay. There's one more question from the audience. It
Okay.
says that what's about the status of Ebola virus? What's the
Okay,
current status?
there's no okay, Nigeria right now there are no cases of Ebola. We don't have Ebola right now. It was the first time that Ebola came out that we had cases. But right now my country we're Ebola free. We don't have Ebola now in Nigeria. We just have the normal COVID-19, but not Ebola. We don't have Ebola in Nigeria.
Okay, so
There are no
as you
cases.
said that, I get that. So as you said that there's a COVID-19 situation going on. So are your like all the like everyone in your country is really vaccinated fully, or the vaccination process is going on?
No, 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 no. Everyone in my country is not vaccinated. I'm sorry, I have not vaccinated. I've not gotten the COVID-19 vaccine myself because I'm scared. I have friends that have taken the COVID-19 vaccine and they told me the side effects of COVID. That's my personal individual preference. I have not done that because of that. But I'm trying to. In maybe in a month's time, I would go and take the vaccine. Meanwhile, not everybody in my country has gotten the COVID-19 vaccine, but a large number of people have. So they have, yes, especially the old people who are very, very exposed to COVID-19. So a lot of them have taken the COVID-19 vaccine. Yeah.
As you mentioned that there are side effects which you heard from your friends. So what are the side
Yeah.
effects basically?
I think I have a friend that had she slept for a while. She slept like for 3 days. There are some people they were feeling dizzy, some people were nauseous, some people were throwing up. And it was people I think people individuals have their own side effects. A lot of people have their side effects. It's an individual thing. So you won't say it's a general thing. So a side effect for this person is going to be different for some another person. So some people it's really painful to them. So yes, that's it. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
an
true.
individual stuff, yeah.
I'm partially vaccinated, and when I came from the vaccination center, I was having fever. So I
Oh.
remember my yeah, okay. So we move on to our next question. Like, according to you, what is the best solution for overpopulation?
I think family planning is one of the best. Family planning and creating awareness will go a long way to curb overpopulation, because people will get to know the advantages and disadvantages of small and a big family. So educating people for them to know the importance of having a small family that you can take care of, it's actually very important. So family planning, yes, I feel like there should be a mandatory law that will make family planning to be effective. Not having, now we still have it as a choice. People just still choose to have, people still choose to either go for family planning or not. But I think there should be a law that says mandatory. You must do family planning after so amount of children. And also, I feel like I said, creating awareness and educating people, especially women, on the importance of family planning will go a long way.
Yeah, China is doing that family planning thing. Having two kids and one kid, and that's it. You
Yeah,
you cannot have that. Yeah, that's
yeah,
we should also have something like that, to reduce the
yes.
overpopulation issue. But we are trying on it. Let's see what we can have. Let's hope for the best. Okay.
Okay.
Um, so, what is the consequences of the population growth in Nigeria? I know, like as you mentioned, there are a lot of issues going on, but still, what are the consequences you people are basically facing?
Okay. People are getting malnourished, and especially children are getting malnourished, and there's population pollution. We have the air pollution, land pollution, water pollution, where people eat and drop things on the road, causing different accidents. Then the drainage systems are blocked because of pollution, and there are also high level of unemployment. People go to schools, they try very hard to go to the universities, to learn, and they come out from school and there are no jobs, and they're stuck in their houses, stuck there doing nothing. And also we have there less limited access of formal educations. A lot of people don't go to school because they cannot afford it, because they are limited schools. Also, hospitals, different basic social amenities are just low. They're limited because of overpopulation.
Yeah, yeah. In our country, the major problem of overpopulation is the cleanliness problem. I believe that it's the cleanliness problem. There are a
Okay.
lot of garbage like thrown everywhere, in every
Yeah.
street, in every road. So that's a very major issue. And
Okay.
okay, Satya type that we would like to help the people in whole Africa.
Oh,
Satya.
so thank you, Satya. Yeah, I am really, really interested in this vision. I really want to help people in the whole of Africa, in fact, in the whole world, like if possible. So I'm in. Don't worry. We'll do that. We'll do this. We'll do this. I got you.
Okay, there's one more question.
Okay.
The person, even I want to know, like we want to know something about your Nigerian culture.
Oh, okay. We have different cultures in Nigeria, but we have the three main. We have tribes. We have different tribes in Nigeria, but we have three main tribes. Like we have the Igbos, the Hausas, and the Yorubas. They are the three main tribes in Nigeria. And I'm an Igbo. I'm Igbo. We have our language, we have food, we have our culture, we have our dressing, we have different things. So I feel everybody have what they do. Everybody have what they eat, what the way they dress, the way they speak. Unless you learn a language, unless you learn how to eat food, like I know how to eat, I've learned how to eat food from other cultures, and I love them. I don't know how to speak so much about people, but people are like people Nigerians. There's some states that are solely Yoruba states. There's some states that are solely Hausa states. So you need to learn a bit of the language and able to live there. So we have different cultures. We have a whole lot of cultures in Nigeria, and they are beautiful and unique in their own way.
I said, do you know anything about Indian culture? like how we dress and how we eat,
Yes.
anything related to that? Do you know?
Yes, I do. I do. I watch Z World a lot. I watch Z World a lot. So I love your dressing. I don't know about your food. I don't know about the food. I don't know. Okay, I have been to India twice. I went there in
Wow.
2013. Yeah, and I went into India in 2013 and I was there in 2016. So I was in Bombay, I was in Hyderabad, and I was in Mumbai. So there I got a few of their jewelries, their dresses. I love your dresses. I love your culture. I love your festivals. I love your festival of lights. I love a lot of things, especially what having to watch a lot of Indian movies are really interesting. Their movies are really interesting. So I've learned a lot. I can't say about your food because when I was in India, I found it so hard to eat your food because of I know it's a different stuff from what I usually eat, but trust me, I love your dressing. I love the way you dress. I love the way you guys adorn yourself with jewelries and all that. I love your culture. I love it. By God's grace, I'll visit India next year.
Do visit, do visit us, do visit Soul Foundation. That's a request from our side. Like we would really love if you come and meet us. Okay.
Okay.
As you mentioned about festivals, so, like how Nigerian people celebrate their festivals?
Okay, we have different festivals. We have the fishing festival. Okay, the Yorubas have a something they call the Agungun festival. That's the fishing festivals in their place. Igbos, we have the New Yam festivals where we eat, we plant yams, and for every new yam we eat, we celebrate it with our family members, our loved ones, our friends. Sometimes yams are pounded and make into um, 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 solid form to eat it with soup. Sometimes it's cooked and taken with pepper soup. There's sometimes we call it pepper soup, pepperish, and sometimes it's roasted. We eat it with oil and a lot of onion and pepper. So that's it. And outside they have their dressing. They also have their dressing, a festival that has to showcase their dressing. So we have a lot of festivals in Nigeria, and each of them have the ways they celebrate it, and yes, that's how we do it in Nigeria.
That's really great to know. There when I mentioned that come to Odisha, when I mentioned that, everyone was like in the comment box, like, please come to Odisha, please meet us. Everyone
Yeah.
was everyone
Okay.
was like,
I'll try. I'll try. I'll try and come to Disha.
okay. Last, no, it's not the last. So we would like to ask that, how are you managing your team in this COVID situation?
Oh, okay. I've been blessed with amazing young individuals. I've blessed with selfless individual, passionate young women and men who have the zeal to serve humanity. So it's been great. It's been amazing working with them. Everyone knows what to do at a particular time. Everyone knows what to do. I know everyone knows how to carry out their program at a particular time. So it's been very easy. It's been good. It's been fun working with them. I mean, people, if you work with people with the same passion, people that have the same zeal, have the same goals as you are, I think things will be very easy. So working with these amazing, young, talented human beings have been the best for Cynthia Okeke Foundation. I'm very pleased. I'm very happy. I'm very glad that I have them in my team. They have made work easier for me. They have made work easier for Nigeria as a whole. Like whenever you call them, we're planning on an outreach, we're doing something, and they all show up. They show up. They show up at the time, helpless, energetic, helpful. So it's been very good. It's been very, very good and beautiful working with them.
Was there any kind of issue which your team faced? Anything related to during this COVID situation?
Um, Not really. Just that people were very conscious of COVID-19. But then I spoke to them. I told them you don't need to worry. Provided like when we have outreaches, I make sure that everybody are wearing their masks, everybody are wearing their gloves, sanitizing their hands. But in the beginning of found the foundation, I think it was funding was the basic issues because when I started the foundation, I used my money. I was solely funded by me, but later on, I started having support from friends, from families, and people started contributing to the humanitarian cause. So it's been a good one. It's been a good one. Not really. I've been able to work with amazing people. So it's been good. It's been good.
Okay, so my last question is that how are you like, how do you feel regarding this Soul Foundation? What are your views?
My sorry,
What are
can you repeat
your
this?
views regard? I'm just saying that what are your views regarding Soul Foundation?
Oh my God, so foundation, you guys are the best. You have done. I'm so impressed. I am so I'm so I don't know what to say. You guys are so good. Your team is so passionate. I am so much love from Nigeria. Satya, the team members, you guys are all good. You guys are doing well. I have been seeing your plugging, I've been seeing your outreaches, your projects and the outcome, and I say I'm glad I know a foundation in India. I'm glad I know South Soul Foundation. I'm very happy. Trust me, you guys are doing a great job. I am rooting for you. I am rooting for you. Cynthia Okeke Foundation is rooting for Soul Foundation. I got your back anytime. Anytime you need any help in Nigeria, just remember I am here to help you guys. I'm here to support you. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I love you dearly. I just want to say keep on the good work. Keep on doing the amazing work you have been doing. God bless you. You guys are amazing. I love your team members. I would love to come to India. I would love to meet everybody in South. I would love to give all of you a hug. You guys have been doing well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No, that's, thank you for having us. We are very honored that we got a chance to talk to you and have a live session with you. That was really good.
Thank
I am
you.
even very proud that you mentioned that Soul Foundation is the best. So that made my day. That I think that made everyone's day in this Soul Foundation.
Yes, yes, you guys are
So
doing well.
yeah,
You're doing well. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Greetings from my team members in Nigeria. Everybody are proud. Everybody, we love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for recognizing us. Thank you for reaching out to us. Thank you for everything. Thank you for making us, for giving us the privilege to be in this live session. Thank you. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you.
namaste. Okay, thank you so much. And now
Thank
I would like
you.
to end this session. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Cynthia.
Thank
And thank you so
you.
much, all the participants. Thank you so much for attending this live session.
Thank
We'll be signing
you.
off. Okay,
Okay.
so
Bye.
bye and
Bye.
love you too. Love you too from
Love
Soul
you. Bye.
Foundation.
Yeah.